Well, yes, it is a girl with a mandolin. But why is she painted like this? Pablo Picasso painted Girl with a Mandolin, portrait of Fanny Tellier, his model, in 1910. It is an example of what came to be known as cubism. Before we get into that, what are we looking at? Picasso has used two unusual techniques to give us the girl: multiple perspectives and use of geometric approximations of physical objects. Using multiple perspectives in the one painting is groundbreaking. Well, mostly. If you look closely in some works by earlier artists, you will see that what some may call artistic license to give us perspectives over time rather than space. You probably recognise a bar at the Folies Bergere, but have you ever noticed that the reflection in the mirror cannot possibly be real? Some think it refers to something happening in a different, earlier time. I'll make a video on this one day. By the time Picasso painted Weeping Woman in 1937, multiple physical perspectives are on full display. Although she is represented in profile, we nevertheless see both sides of her face at once, both her near eye and what should be her hidden eye, two rivulets of tears. A fully representational rendering would deny us this extra detail. And yes, this is at the expense, as some see it, of rendering reality. But be careful, for the reality is that all sides of the face do exist, even if normally we cannot see a profile and a whole face at once. Maybe this is clearer in sculpture. Michelangelo's David is rewarding from every angle, all of the perspectives there all of the time, allowing us to look for our own perspective, not just be limited to the one the artist has chosen for us. In Nude Descending a Staircase No. 2 by Marcel Duchamp in 1912, we see multiple perspectives over both space and time, creating movement, an action-packed experience that takes art into places beyond mere depiction of a single view of a single moment. The other technique used in Girl with a Mandolin is the use of geometric approximations to represent reality. Cézanne had started doing this earlier in his landscapes. Here in the Quarry at Bibémus, 1895, we have the landscape depicted more geometrically than reality would dictate. Being a quarry, we could expect some angular cuts, but Cézanne has allowed this thought to spill over into all of the rocks and even the trees and clouds. And see how Georges Braque, the other renowned cubist alongside Picasso, has rendered houses at L'Estaque in 1908. The rocks very angular, almost, well, cubes. Mondrian did it with foliage in 1911. This is the grey tree. We all have done it in our first faltering steps to represent things. But as an artist, shouldn't they have been working harder to represent what we all normally see, rather than regressing back to childhood scribbles and simple shapes? Picasso said, "It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child." Or maybe more encouragingly, every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. What is he getting at? Why is this important to him? One reason may be to portray a fully authentic vision of reality. And by authentic, I don't mean exact. Exact replicas of reality could now be provided by photography, but rather with a childlike authenticity, showing us multi-dimensional viewpoints, each pared down to their essentials. This gives us a more fully realised view of the world that exists in our minds and psyches as we experience all of the inputs and effects of a subject. The advent of photography had freed artists to explore more than just representing a scene or an object. And yes, I do believe photography can also be art. I'm working on a future video. But there are things that can be achieved in what we might call traditional art that are difficult to reproduce anywhere else. So here she is, Girl with a Mandolin, a collection of planes reflecting light at different angles, showing us multiple sides. Her forehead, chin, shoulders, elbows and knuckles are sharp pointed angles rendered in straight lines. The mandolin, though, mostly retains its curves. She looks down toward her finger placement on the mandolin's neck, more in taking in the moment than needing to see the required position. Her chin continues a single line down her left shoulder. She seems altogether caught up in the music, her eyes closed, the background angles and shapes having been formed by previous musical notes which permeate her surroundings, and then move back closer to envelop her again. For music too is art, transforming our mood, and here strangely comforting us. Enjoy the moment, uncluttered by detail, with no need to construct a story or even understand the physical forms in their expected configurations. A soft collection of notes from the girl, hovering comfortably around her as she brings forth music. This girl, the girl with the mandolin. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please press like. If you want to be notified when I put out more reactions to great art, please subscribe. See you next time.